Good evening, YouTube, and happy Monday night.
All
Alex,
right.
what is happening?
Hey, life is good. Any day I'm alive, life is good. Everything is happening, Oh, today I wanted to go out and walk early this morning before the sun comes up. It's so hot here in Tucson. I got to walk early in the morning. Didn't slept late. Didn't get a chance to walk outside by the river walk. So I had to drive over to the mall and walk. But it was rough getting to the car. It was so hot. Then I got to the car
It's a
and it
hot
was
day in
hot in the
Tucson
car.
today. It's a hot day in Tucson.
How you doing over there, kiddo?
Man, I'm always feeling good. Always feeling good. Couple current events is happening. Simon Cowell officially broke his back due to a motorized bicycle accident.
Wow.
Kelly Clarkson is filling him in on America's Got Talent on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, wow. Oh, also there was a shooting at the White House, wasn't
There was a shooting at the White House.
Yeah.
Donald Trump has actually, they had to escort him out to the Noble Office during a press conference
Right.
for about 10 minutes and then came back and everything was fine.
This is the world we live in. And
Just like
now, speaking of the world.
Well, actually, I'm going to pause you right there real fast. I just want to announce something before we get things rocking here. Saturday, we're starting a brand new live show that's going to be totally fully interactive. We're first coming up with a stage show and basically bring back the stage shows. It takes only $5 a household. So anyone in your family can have a party, etc., and you can actually fully watch the show from your own TV in your own house, which is going to be amazing. We got a comedy show, the Laugh at Home comedy show with Josh Nomi and Rich Gary, who will be seen on tonight. And then we also, the week after that, the 22nd, we have a fairly new guest, or not new guest. We have a magic show happening. Christian Ford will be joining us doing a live comedy magic show. And then the 21st, we have a Beyond the Guest show with Live with Count Alex. And then we have a special Halloween show coming up right after that. But yeah, this show is going to be totally fully interactive. We have found a way to bring you guys into the show. You can interact with the comedians. So you can have some fun, laugh, and it's going to be totally fun and interactive. All right, Alex, let's get rocking on the show tonight. He is a full comedian. He is ready to rock. He is here local in Tucson. Please welcome Mr. Rich Gary, everybody.
Hey, Rich, how we doing there, kiddo? All right.
I'm doing good. I feel underdressed because he's in a t-shirt and you're in a polo, and yeah. I'm in a tank top. But yes. I just went on a run. Kyle asked me to do this, and it was right during my time when I work out when the sun goes down, and so I had to just do it a little bit early to make it. So I'm sweaty, I'm stinky, and I'm here.
And I'm glad you're on that end over there and we can't smell you. You look great.
Yeah, you don't want to be over here. It stinks real bad.
All right. Yeah, I love it.
So how'd you get your first start in comedy? Let's get started with this thing.
Oh man. So I love this story. I love comedy. I've always loved comedy for years. Stand-up and sketch primarily. And I would go to Laughs, the comedy club here in Tucson, and I would just watch. Is $10 at the door, and then I would get like food, and I'd get a couple of beers. And I was a kid. I was 23, and it got expensive after a couple of weeks of going. But I wanted to watch stand-up, and I heard that Thursday was free. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go on Thursday and I won't have to pay any money. And I started to go on Thursday, and I realized that Thursday was open mic night, and that's why it was free. And and probably 2 rounds of being a guest at open mic, I was like, I can do better than these guys. And
I love it.
I
Isn't that
started-
nice when you get that feeling? You get that feeling. What is he doing? I could do that 10 times better. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. I got in for free, and that was too much money. So then I went home and wrote some jokes. I wrote like 2 pages of jokes, and I went back the next week, and I bombed. I bombed so hard. It was terrible. I didn't even know what the light meant. Like when you do comedy to keep the show going, they flash a light at you. Now it's like a iPhone light. They turn the light on, and that's you usually have 1 minute. So it's kind of like getting to your closing joke. And I didn't even know what that meant. And so then he starts going, he starts whistling, howling at me. He's like, hey, 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 because he's shining the light and I'd gone over the minute and I was up there. And he has to get the show moving along. You only get 3 minutes at this particular open mic. And I was like, oh, I guess to the audience, I have the mic in front of my hand. I'm like, oh, I guess you'll all have to hear the rest of my jokes next week. And I rack it like I'm such a big deal. Like I was crushing so hard, but I was doing terrible. And then after that, it just like, that was on Thursday night. So I found out what you can do on Wednesday and what you can do on Tuesday and what you can do on Monday and what you can do on Sunday. And so I just started going to every open mic that I could. And then I just got better. Yeah. And I got more involved in different genres and styles of comedy, and it's been 6, almost 7 years, and it's been amazing.
So, who are the comedians that inspired you? Give me some names that you respect and look up to, kind of thing.
I think George Carlin was huge for me, because here's this guy who's like a grandpa, who's like, he's like a man, but he's like an older man,
right.
But he's being vulgar and crude, but also really insightful and like on point. And like, so that was huge for me for sure. Dane Cook was huge for me, because it was the first time where I really thought that he was talking about stuff that I could not just relate to, but like I really felt like I had done before, right. Like almost like a mirror image. So those were probably 2 of the first ones. Nick Swardson, listen to Nick Swardson. Now it's like Hannibal Buress, Mark Normand. I just listened to I just watched the Joe List special. All 3 of those guys just put out specials, straight to YouTube specials. Yeah.
How do you write your comics or your skits?
So it usually starts from like a little thing happening, and I'm like, oh, that's weird, and like it makes me like stop, disconnect, and like kind of go inside, and I start thinking about I stop everything on it. I'm like, I need to write this down. Like, even if it's just one sentence that's going to trigger me into this moment, I'll write it down. And then later on, I expand on it. Because usually it's like, I'm with friends, I'm with whoever it may be. And it's, I don't know, I would feel rude to just like say, hey, I got to go write for like an hour. But I'll just, in my phone, I'll just jot it down real quick. And then expanding on it later, and then maybe it like sometimes it'll go on Facebook and see how it does there, like because the essence of a joke is usually 2 sentences. All jokes should be 2 sentences, and then it's kind of like building it up, describing like the who, what, where. But then that hook is usually quick. So yeah, that's kind of my process. And then lately I've been getting more, I used to carry around a notebook with me, but now I write it in my phone, because then I can go straight onto the computer and type it from there. And usually like it would be my room, my desk, my backpack, just like pieces of paper everywhere, a little notebook and a big notebook and just stuff on an envelope is terrible. So I'd rather be like Notes app, Google Doc, and like stuff everywhere, but it's in the computer, so it's not a physical mess in my life.
Right.
It's a virtual mess in my phone.
I never thought about something. You said, you do put on Facebook, you check it out, you test it out. Facebook, I never thought about it would be a good proving ground kind of a thing. That's good. I like that.
It's just like what people do with people do it with Twitter. Mm. It's more traditionally done with Twitter, but Twitter is one of my least strong social media platforms. Mm. But you can use Facebook just like Twitter, and they have the new feature. It's probably been probably over a year that they've had this feature. It's probably been close to 2 years. That if it's a certain number of characters, Facebook it makes the font larger. If it's like 2 or 3 sentences, it becomes a small paragraph. But if it's just one sentence, it'll have it large. So you can have a large sentence, and then it's funny. It'll crush on Facebook. You get a bunch of likes, comments, people will share it, or it'll suck.
Yeah. But you'll know.
Yeah.
There you go.
You just got the best comedian of 2020.
Nominated.
Oh. Well, see, that's a foreshadow. You're gonna get it. It's out there now. You are going to get it. There it is.
Four other Tucson comedians, 2 improvisers, and 2 stand-ups, and me, whatever I am. Because I'm just kind of an amalgamation. I'm an amalgamation of kind of all comedy that you can do. But so the voting ends August 24th, so there's still time to go to Tucson Weekly and vote for Rich Gary as Tucson's best comedian.
All right. Hey, there it is. I'm there.
Yeah, please. I'll buy you a burrito, Alex.
Hey,
I'll buy you a burrito.
I'll accept.
Yeah. I'll send a Chipotle.
I can be bribed with a burrito.
Yeah. Who can't? They're so tasty.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll send a Chipotle gift card to your house. $10, so you can no guac.
Yeah, you are definitely a comedian. Works for me, I tell you.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else in your family that's a comedian, or is in the business or anything like that?
My to give my mom some credit, she would do a lot of voices, and she also facilitated my creativity from a very young age, which creatively I've always kind of been creative, but it's evolved in a number of different ways throughout my life, because I used to draw, I used to paint, and I used to be more into music in my early 20s, and so she definitely pushed that, and she was silly, but my dad taught me sarcasm, and my dad taught me dry humor, and he was a military guy, but he was hilarious. He still is. But now I'm more funny than him.
Well, parents always want their kids to be better and funnier or whatever, Yeah. He
can usually get the laughs in the room, or he always would get the laughs in the room, or just point something out and make it humorous. But now I'm a juggernaut of that.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's easy to be funny in conversation, because in stand-up you need to create everything, but in conversation you can just piggyback off of what other people say. Right. So I call it base reality, the who, what, where. Who are we? What are we talking about? Where are we? Right. So if somebody else does that, and then you just slide in and say one little funny thing, and then you look like a genius, but it
Yeah.
took two, it took both people in the conversation to create that humorous anecdote.
But you look great.
Huh?
But you look great when that happens. I love it.
Yes. Oh, all the time. And I love it. I literally live to say funny stuff
Yeah.
constantly, It's the best.
Right.
Do you get stage nerves when you go on?
A little bit. Obviously, way more in the past.
Mm.
Now it happens, but you get out there and you say something funny and you get a laugh, and then you're on the other side of it. So it's kind of like this bar that's it's here, and then you say something funny and then it rises, and then it's constantly doing this. So you have a little bit of time to hit it back up with the audience and then hit it back up. So it's a little nerve-wracking, and then you say something and then it goes up and you're like, oh, okay, I know how to do this. It's fine. So a little bit. Once you're out there, muscle memory kicks in.
Yeah, you're out there. Yeah. So if you weren't a comedian, is there something else that you wanted to do? Or if you weren't a comedian, what do you think you would be?
It would be hard to not be creative. So I would think musician. But I'm super good with numbers, and I'm really, really good at math and science. So an engineer, maybe, astronaut.
Whoa, astronaut.
Architect, because that kind of combines drawing with math. So possibly. That's a good question. I hardly ever think of that anymore.
Yeah, well, you don't have to now. Because I know before I became an actor, I was threatening to be a pharmacist for some reason. I don't know, pharmacist and acting for some reason. They obviously
two very similar fields.
Yes.
With comedy, you guys are comedians, you're funny. Anything embarrassing, anything happen on stage that you're like, oh wait, that wasn't supposed to go at the act?
To me or to somebody else?
You.
Oh,
and man. Somebody else.
Oh man.
Both.
Right off the bat, because for me, I'm gonna have to think about it because I know there's something. But about a year ago, my buddies Matt Zemak and Rory Montserrat host a monthly comedy showcase, and they have touring headliners come through, and it's a brewery show, and it's a good, as far as the local scene is concerned, putting on a show, it's usually a good, successful show with a good audience.
Sure.
And they had Alan Strickland Williams, who's a LA stand-up. I think he's from the East Coast originally. He just did a Comedy Central half hour, and he was in town. He was a headliner. He comes up, he's doing his set. He's got his beer half drank, sat on the bar stool behind him, and he's kind of cupping it, the whole thing like this, and then bring it up, and then cupping it down. And he's killing it too. He's negotiating the microphone. He's negotiating his beer. I'm very impressed with his microphone skills, because to have the wherewithal to have good microphone skills and to perform well with your material is it's good. So he misses it on the third one. He puts it down here, and so he puts it down. He takes one step, and it goes, and then beer goes up and then down, and it's all over. And I was like, oh my God, the headliner just spilled his beer. This is crazy. And he handled it like a professional.
There you go.
Nobody cleaned it or anything. It just started leaking, and he made a funny comment about it, and then he just kept going. It was impressive, honestly. But I was like, what is he gonna do? And he's gonna do nothing. He's gonna step in it and make funny comments about it.
The show must go on,
Yeah, it was great. It was great. For me, geez, I know there's something, but I don't know. I'm very clumsy, and so what I do is I I call it intentional movements, where I just like focus on everything I'm doing, and I try not to do anything stupid. So I don't know. I haven't tripped or fallen or anything. Like I've bombed. Like I've bombed a million times, but like nothing like too like
Too crazed.
tripping or falling or anything like that. Yeah.
How do you deal with it when you bomb? I mean, I know it's probably different ways and different things, but some examples of what you did when you bombed. How do you get out of that?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, one of the main parts of comedy is, at least at stand-up, is to work on new material, and you do that at open mics, and they usually get 5 minutes at open mic. At the last comedy club one, it's 3. But so a good strategy is to take like 3 old jokes and take 3 new jokes and intertwine them, so that way you'll tell a good joke, and then you'll tell a joke that you don't really know if it works. And then if it doesn't work, you'll have a good joke afterwards. So you have good jokes peppered in, and it's alternating between the new jokes and the old jokes. And so the audience never really hates you.
Yeah, you don't have 2 bad ones in a row.
Exactly. So
they can hate you twice.
So that's why like writing and organization and preparedness is a really big part of stand-up. You should work hard to make it look like you didn't do any work. And so if you go up there and maybe you're trying all new, you're trying like 6 new jokes, and they all don't go well because you don't even know how it works. You don't even know how it ends. Right. You can lose a crowd. You can also say something bad, not even offensive, but like just a little bit mean, and you can lose people. Your gauge on what's mean is different than other people, and if the audience is already not on your side, and then you piss somebody off, they might just all go with that person who's mad, and then you got a whole room of people against you, and you're holding a microphone. But a good way to do it is say, wow, this isn't going well. And then that usually everyone just dies because they're like, yeah, it isn't going well. And so you'll get a laugh out of that. So being self-aware, knowing how it's going and knowing how they feel, because then at least you're connected and you know, like, if you know you're bombing and you say, I'm bombing, then it's like, okay, you're doing better at bombing. But if you're bombing and you're clueless, it's hard to watch.
Yeah. Hard for the audience too. They're like, that's when they start throwing tomatoes.
Exactly. KBOA shows up and they're like, this guy sucks at comedy.
You were a part of Keep Tucson Sketchy.
Yeah.
Were you the one that created that?
Mm-hmm.
You were? Okay, so I'm kind of on top of that a little bit.
It's 3 of us in the beginning, and then I brought in my graphic designer, who ended up being a writer and an actor. So now it's 4 of us who are like the producers.
Okay.
And we have a writing team of about 10, and we have an acting team of most of the writers are writer actors. We meet every Tuesday and Sunday right now during quarantine. We're working on a quarantine show. I think we're gonna be competing audiences on the 22nd because I have a quarantine show that night also. But there's plenty of the internet to go around, you know. But it started from Creative Tucson. It was a public access television channel where we did a news show Monday through Friday. And we had a really talented writer who would write news jokes. So it's topical news, short, and then he'd hook a joke at the end. We had a teleprompter, we had 3 cameras set up, and we'd just read the news. And then the city budget, we lost the funding. And so it was scrapped. Sure. But we worked together really well, and we wanted to do something. So one of the guys, the other anchor, it was me and Tom. Tom said, let's do a sketch comedy show just like SNL. Let's have a musical guest. Let's have a host, and we can do the news show kind of as the crux, just like SNL, like a weekend update. Ours is called Scorcher Report, and I was like, that's gonna be a lot of work. And he's like, what else are we doing? We just lost the TV show, and I was like, all right. And like, we really only had to commit about 1 day a week for the course of the last year and a half. And people have like come on and stayed on, and it's grown. And yeah, it's really successful. I mean, we were nominated for Best Comedy Night this year for Tucson Weekly. So you could vote for me as Best Comedian. You could vote for my comedy show as Best Comedy Night.
And it's all at Tucson Weekly. I can do that with the Tucson
Weekly. Yeah, you can vote for everything.
Okay.
Best taco, best brewery, everything.
Oh.
Best, yeah. It's kind of fun because you get to like best breakfast spot. All of it is up for nomination. All of it's nominated. You can vote what you like. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Alex, do you have anything else for Rich?
You know, something else did come to mind.
Okay.
I just wanted to throw out something, especially when I'm dealing with comedians and I get some laughs out of them and stuff. I just want to throw it out there and say, you know, most of the comedians, I know most of them, if not all of them, want to go into, you know, the movie or TV industry. I'm putting it out there, folks, for all you movie people out there that knows of Rich and everybody. If you don't know of him, go look him up and go vote for him, whatever. You were interested. Would you be interested in going into the movie thing? I wish I could hire you, but I would just want to put it out there and let people know in case somebody's watching.
Yeah, I did improv for 5 years. So when I first started stand-up, I started improv 1 year later, and I learned a lot. And then I started acting, and I was signed with an agency for a little while, and I did some smaller like commercials,
Right.
and I've made a lot of my own stuff, and I've made a lot of sketches. So I have a pretty good. I'm comfortable with my skill set as far as acting is concerned. I'm not like sending my resume out for like pursuing roles, but yeah, if like something comes across or anything like that, I'm always willing to see if I am a good fit. But yeah, the main pursuit is the comedy world.
Okay.
But yeah, if something comes close to me and they're like, we need an actor, I'm always willing to step in because it's fun. It's fun. It's a totally different beast, but I like it. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Just checking it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. If you need a bald, silly guy with a weird face, send me an email.
Listen to that, folks. You heard him. You got it. All right.
Keep Tucson Sketches. Is that for anybody that has talent, or just strictly for comedians, writers, producers, etc.?
It is. Well, we really only have actors and writers. We're always accepting video producers. If you shoot and edit, we want to work with you because we only have like 2 or 3 video producers, and we're always spread so thin because we do live sketches and we do video sketches. So the live sketches, we have a director and we have blocking and all of that. But with the video sketches, we shoot, and then it just goes to these 2 guys. They got to edit like 10 or 12 videos. For the actors and the writers, we take writing samples and we take we do like an audition process. So yeah, if anybody's interested, you know, reach out. We'll see where you can fit and if you would be a good fit. So it's always evolving, and it's always growing, and we're always losing people and gaining people. So yeah, it's something that does need auditions, but it's an open door if you're the right fit.
And where can people find you? How can they look you
I
up?
am at the Real Rich Gary, all platforms at the Real Rich Gary. And that's the Real Rich Gary on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah.
You can find me at the grocery store.
Will you buy me a burrito at the grocery store if they have them? No, just kidding.
Yeah. The co-op has great ones in the morning. They have breakfast burrito with it's a wheat tortilla. Ooh, it's delicious.
Ooh, yes, I love them. Wait a minute, you are good. You know, maybe I'm gonna have to start hanging out with you. those weak ones.
Alex, I love food.
Yeah, but appreciate it.
Yeah,
you.
Rich, thanks for coming on. Sorry it was last minute, but
Thanks. Thank you. Tons of thanks.
No, thank you guys so much. I had a blast. I'll see you soon.
Hey,
you can catch Rich this Saturday perform at the Laugh at Home
Yes.
Comedy Show. It's all direct through the ease of Zoom. Get your tickets at ramsonlive.com.
God bless.
Alex, shoot it right over to you. Anything else you got on this beautiful Monday?
Yes, this Friday we have that
Yes,
show.
Friday.
Yeah, this Friday we have the stunt guys, and we're honoring the producer Stephen J. Cannell, who had a ton of TV shows on the air, the Rockford Files, the A-Team, Greatest American Hero. And anyway, next month is the 10th anniversary of his death, Stephen J. Cannell. And we're going to have some people, some stunt guys to work on the show. I worked for him on 10 Speed and Brown Shoe and a series back in 80. And we're going to do a tribute to him on Friday, this coming on the 17th. So looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to talking to some of these stunt guys that I work with, and I haven't seen these guys in years.
If you guys want to tribute a dime, a nickel, a dollar, whatever, to this show, it takes a lot of money to put this thing on and produce it. PayPal me at paypal.me /Kyle Ramsden. Send some cash if you feel like we're doing a good job as a donation. You can also purchase swag, Live with Count Alex masks, mugs, pillows, etc., t-shirts, all that jazz. You can get that on ramsonlive.com, as well as tickets for the live shows.
All right.
That does it for me, Alex. And yeah.
Yep. Love it. Hey, good night, everybody. Hey,
like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Catch us every Monday and
Friday.
All right. Oh, real fast before we kick off the air tonight. Tonight's guest unfortunately got canceled. We rescheduled her at least probably next week or the week after due to some conflicts. However, the 21st, if you want to be a part of Live with Kyle and Alex, be sure to get your tickets now for the Live with Kyle and Alex Beyond the Show. It's going to be a brand new show also, but you're going to interact with us too. It's going to be it's going to be totally fun, and it's not going to be like a talk show. We'll have some guests, but it's going to be different. So it's going to be a fun show. So be sure to tune in with that. I just want to get that out there since you're on too, Alex. But
looking forward to being with everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Take care. All right.